A very warm welcome, everyone. Me, Shreyash Chaudhary, and today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Geetika Vashisth, who has been a former radio jockey and journalist and is now doing a research on climate change. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shreyas, for having me here.
Ma'am, my first question to you is what is climate change?
Okay, Shreyas, I think that's a very apt question because right now you can see we are sitting in the studio and I'm wearing sweater and a shawl, and it's March. Winters are still here, and if you look at the summer pattern or winter pattern, you will see they are extending. Like when you see winter season, there are severe cold. When you see a summer, there is a severe heat is also there. So, we all know that weather is, but when there is a constant change in the weather for a prolonged time, that is an indicator of climate change. For example, you see a lot of glaciers are also melting, rivers are overflowing, so there is flood in some areas. You will look at the mountains, there are a lot of landsliding is there, and at some places there are drought also, and you will see all extreme weathers are there. In India, if you'll see, the occurrence of such events used to be one in 5 years or once in 10 years, but now you will see the frequency of such extreme events have increased, and there is a constant weather pattern which is changing. Constantly, the weather pattern is changing. So, that is climate change. Otherwise, the weather used to be fixed. My maternal aunt used to say, okay, now it's February, Makar Sankranti, now winter will go away. But now witnessing to a new trend where winter is still here and the first week of March is already over. So that is climate is changing. And the bad part is that is climate changing for good or bad, and is changing for bad. And the most troublesome part is that the major cause of this climate change is human intervention. It's not natural. So, in research language, this is called anthropocentric intervention. So, I think yes, climate is changing, and we human beings have a lot of contribution into that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My second question to you is what steps is our government taking and initiatives to solve this problem?
Sure, government is fully aware of this problem, and in fact, if we'll see this problem at the global level, all the developed and developing countries are fully aware of this. And under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, each state has been given this mandate of formulating the plan where they need to come up what problems they are facing, what are the feasible solutions they have, and each state have this NDC, nationally determined contribution plan, where they will come up with a plan what all things can be done logistically feasibly at the state level. So now if you'll see in Rajasthan where you have a desert area, people are thinking how to preserve water. In coastal area like Chennai where there is a water scarcity, the government is working how to improve the preservation of water and how to distribute it. Likewise, each state is working on it. For example, we will talk about Uttarakhand. Now they are working of replanting the forest area which has been cut. So each state is working, and some of the projects are in planning stage, and on which some of them are working. But of course, a lot needs to be still done in this particular area.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, my third question to you is as an individual, what steps can we take to solve climate change?
Okay, so we can't entirely solve this, but yes, we can contribute in it. So there's a saying, wherever there is a will, there is a way. So if we want to do something about climate change at personal level, that is perfectly possible. We can take small, small measures. For example, instead of taking a shower, you can bath with a bucket because that is going to save water. When you're going to use washing machine, instead of running the washing machine for 1 hour, you can use pre-soak method where you're rinsing clothes and then using half an hour program for your clothes. You can carpool, you can use bicycle. Of course, you need to save electricity because there is a lot of pressure on our resources, and go for zero concept of waste. Like you can read it online. Nowadays, we are talking about zero waste concept. try to minimize your waste as much as possible. Let's suppose even if you want to buy new clothes, first discard your old clothes, give it to somebody, like gift economy, so that the other person need not to buy clothes and then buy new. So eat properly, don't waste food, because wastage of food is also emitting a lot of greenhouse gases. And one thing I want to tell you, like ROs, per 20 liters of water which is getting purified by your RO, 80 liters of water is getting wasted. So there are two options: either you can store that water, use it for other purposes, or there are some alternates which are available, like ultraviolet purifiers are there, because these ROs are nothing but marketing scheme. The TDS, the total dissolved solid which is there in a water, is actually very less in 20 states of India. So there are some feasible options, and if you research more, you will get more cheaper and feasible options instead of ROs. So there are few examples I have given, I have quoted here, that you can implement in your life, and this will contribute huge. You can save water, and you can manage your resources well. And like I was talking in with your students also, you can take adding or millets, like add plant-based diet, cut on your meat diet, and I think these all initiatives are sufficient to make your contribution in climate change and sustainability.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, my last question to you is that we have seen the north-south divide. So often, developing countries are blamed for climate change, although actually we have seen that the contribution made by developed countries is much higher. So, what is your opinion and take on this, ma'am?
Uh, Let me explain this concept of North and South. North means developed countries, and South means developing countries. We all know that all the developed countries, they are called historic polluters, because they were the ones who were responsible for industrialization. And industrialization was the time where industries used maximum natural resources to produce things. So in the whole process, the 50% of greenhouse emissions were already done. Now, of course, they are historical polluters. They have already achieved economic development. So, what developing countries are saying is not actually 100%. We should say it's actually right that they should take certain responsibility. They have more funds, more resources. They can support developing countries. But at the same time, I would like to say that developing countries, they can't also shrug off the responsibility. Of course, they are developing, they need resources. But for example, in India, we are still using coal, which has a very cheaper quality, like bitumen coal, and that creates a lot of greenhouse gases. So we can work on that substitution. And in India, we have, in southern India especially, we have various programs where people are planting forest again. So at the level of developing countries also, so many small initiatives can also be taken. And of course, we all need to contribute, because we have only one planet to live. We have only one earth to live on. We don't have so many earths like so many countries. And I think as per the latest report, we have already consumed 1.72% of earth. What does it mean? It means the resources which earth has, we have already overexploited those resources. So it's going to be a collective effort for us, not only from developed countries but from developing countries as well. So it's time to close this politics of who will take the responsibility. I think we all should take responsibility and work. Then only there will be a progress in this carbon change mitigation and adaptation.
As ma'am rightly said, collective efforts are very important to reduce climate change problems. Thank you so much, ma'am. Keep watching SJMC TV for more.